Alright, let's talk about Brock Purdy, who I thought looked human in this game. Granted, the guy still never lost a football game that he didn't get injured in, so not so human, but still, I thought that this was not his best performance. I still thought he had some really good plays in it as well, though. So let's get into it. Let's start off with this play. It's going to be a zone coverage play, but the concept itself at first isn't going to make a huge difference in terms of what we're talking about. Watch as Purdy's going to take the snap right here. He, looks towards his left, doesn't love what he sees, so starts to scramble. And this is really good stuff from Brock Purdy because, I want to talk about this play in particular because what do we typically say when we bring up Brock Purdy? He is someone who does just enough. He's not the entire car. He's just the guy who's driving. But you know what? A car needs a driver, and he does a pretty effective job at doing that. So that's typically what we talk about, and for a good reason, and we'll talk about that later on in this video as well. But this is not that. I do think that Purdy is pretty good at off-script stuff as well. In this play, he sees that a linebacker is rushing in. Because, again, zone coverage. So people are looking at Purdy. They see him scrambling outside the pocket. And because he's rushing in, this now means that you have McCaffrey, who is, currently getting covered up by him, who's now about to get open. So Purdy is able to make an off-balance throw, and they pick up a 9-yard gain right there. That's a big part of quarterback play as well. I think that for someone like Purdy, a lot of what gets talked about is his game management style of stuff, and again, for good reason. He's very good at that kind of thing, but he is someone who can be a playmaker as well. Now, going over here, I think it's reasonable to also bring up he did a really good job managing the game, right? He did a really good job of the on-script stuff. That is where I think he thrives more than anything, and you're going to see it on this play, where it's going to be a man coverage play, and you have Deebo Samuel actually running over the middle. Isn't it crazy how it seems like there's a different San Francisco player every single game who's the one who's, being the guy who's going off? Last week it was Ayuk. Today it is Deebo Samuel. Sometimes it's more than one guy, but I thought Samuel had a really big day. And okay, route on paper looks like it could work. Yes, there is a safety who's going to cover over the middle of the field, but he's currently lined up towards the top of the screen. It'll take him a minute to get over there. It's a good route to look towards. Purdy is going to take the snap. He runs the play action. He fires towards Samuel, who is open. Again, he's Deebo Samuel. He gets open. This is what he does, but the ball is already almost there. It's that timing from Purdy that is really so good, and you're seeing him show off great timing on this play. Samuel is going to make the catch and gets tackled immediately. That does not always happen with Deebo Samuel, but it happened there. However, still a very good play from Samuel, very good play from Brock Purdy, and they're able to pick up a decent gain on that one. Also, while we're on the subject of Deebo Samuel, let's just bring up this play, why don't we? This is not a Brock Purdy play, but, I do kind of like to talk about some of the other 49ers players when we talk about these, when I make these videos, just because there often is a ton to talk about. Watch as Purdy is going to just flip it to Deebo Samuel. Samuel gets outside the numbers at this point towards the sideline. This is one of those situations where you almost just expect a wide receiver to go down right here, right? But Deebo Samuel is no wide receiver. Watch him somehow find a way to get into the end zone for a touchdown. Again, this is just part of what makes this 49ers offense so deadly is, there's a good amount of teams that have a player who can do this. Maybe some that have two, definitely some that don't have any. But the fact that San Francisco has Deebo and George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey, they legitimately have 4 players who can do that. That's just what makes them, at times just completely unbeatable. Like, this play's another good one of one thing that's, I think, really underrated, and something that definitely San Francisco looks towards is having a quarterback who can get rid of the football quickly. That's part of what they loved about Garoppolo and why they made that initial trade to get him, was his ability to get rid of the football in a hurry. And this play is a similar example, where keep in mind the situation. This is it's a 17-10 football game. You're down. I mean, you're trailing, only 43 seconds left in the half, so need to get some points here. Just feels like you do. There's, a route that could get open, could get into a gap in coverage on this play. As you see, Samuel's going to take the snap. He fires in that direction, but again, that quick release while he's under pressure making the throw. This is an open throw now. Again, he had to get it over a linebacker, though. That's worth mentioning. We're already past that point, but he had to get it over that linebacker. Can't overthrow it. And ideally, you'd want to give your receiver a chance to make a catch and potentially pick up more yards after the catch while he was under pressure. So it's kind of one of those throws that looks, I think, easier than it actually is. However, Purdy makes a perfectly accurate throw, and the San Francisco 49ers are able to pick up a big chunk play. They ended up scoring a touchdown on this drive. They went for it with 3 seconds left in the half and scored a touchdown when they could have just kicked the field goal, and that was the difference in the game, right? If Purdy doesn't make this throw, there's a very real chance they don't score, to end half, and this was a game that was decided by 7 points. Who knows what happens? The whole game changes if they don't get these points. But, just goes to show these little things can really add up. So, yeah, that's all the good we'll be talking about today. I mentioned, early on in this video, there were some negatives as well. Let's talk about those negatives. Like, for example, this one where what's going to happen is that it's going to be a zone coverage play. You have Brandon Ayuk running that route right there where he fakes it was going to go over the middle and instead runs a deep route. Purdy is going to take the snap, and Ayuk is just running a great route. Really well done. Purdy times it up perfectly. Safety's trying to get over, but he's not there yet. I mean, this is an opportunity for a big chunk play. This could have put the 49ers up midway through the second quarter. Instead, this is just a missed throw. Purdy overthrew it. That's kind of what was a bit of a trend in this game. I thought that was kind of, the biggest reason why maybe San Francisco's offense didn't quite look as lethal as we've seen it look in previous weeks. While I did think the Rams defense maybe is better than we thought it would be coming into the year, I still thought there were opportunities that Purdy was just missing. Like, for example, this play, it's a key play. It's a 3rd down and 7. Again, this is a tied game about midway through the third quarter. You're going to see that Purdy takes the snap. He eventually fires down the field and just misses that throw as well. There was a window. Again, I'm not saying this is the easiest throw in the world or anything to make, but still, these are the kind of throws that we've certainly come accustomed to seeing Purdy make. And I do think, while I did kind of hype up his playmaking ability a little bit, I think it's reasonable to say if you're going to be the elite game manager type, you have to make sure you're hitting throws. This one, another one where, again, on a 3rd down and 7, you're going to see Purdy, there's a little bit of pressure, so I kind of understand it, but he still missed Deebo Samuel down the field for a touchdown on that play. That would have been a touchdown had he made that throw. Honestly, it reminded me a little bit of the Jimmy Garoppolo missed deep shot in the Super Bowl that would have allowed them to come back. So, not an ideal scenario there. Am I, worried or anything like that? No. Like I said, I still thought he had a pretty solid day today. I think that he had some just uncharacteristic misses in this one as well, and it definitely sucked that seemed like the misses that he had were when guys were getting open down the field. So that's unfortunate. But no, I am not concerned about Brock Purdy or anything like that. You're going to have games where you miss throws. That's just how football works. It's going to happen. So while I think it's fair to say this is my evaluation of Purdy, was that he had some not spectacular performances, not spectacular throws in this one. I think the overall performance was relatively solid, and I wouldn't be concerned. So yeah, interesting football game. In some ways, you could even look at that as a positive and say, hey, our quarterback, who, obviously that's still the most important position in football, even if it's the 49ers. Our quarterback didn't have a great day, and we still beat what might be a pretty good football team. It was technically a one-score game, but, a last-second field goal is what made it a one-score game. 49ers kind of ran away with it a little bit in the fourth quarter there. So, in a way, you could argue it's optimistic. But, yeah, those are my thoughts on Purdy's performance. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.